Hello. So I had to come back and talk about this real quick, y'all. I am all for First Amendment rights. I am all for people having rights. I am all for people having freedoms and liberties and all of that good stuff. I really am. There is quite a bit that is happening politically as well as socially. And so I spoke about a few minutes ago about witches' rights. Okay. But then afterwards, I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, Jamila, there's a lot of people that are watching your channel that have probably been cursed by a dumb witch. So I want to come and talk about that. If you've been cursed by a dumb witch and you haven't done anything to deserve it, you may have either told them the truth, you know, you may have not said anything to them. Okay, because I do a lot of curse reversals and I do a lot of uncrossings. I do a lot of protection and healing work, in particular from spiritual PTSD. And so I am with you, okay, when it comes to that. I wanted to come and talk about that. And, I really honestly believe that a lot of the dumb witches that are in this world, because they're dumb, I don't even like to call them witches, but I don't even know any other way to describe them. Okay, I believe that they are messing up the rights and liberties of everybody personally. Um, because they use the craft to just do evil. Okay, and I don't agree with that. Okay, so a lot of y'all watching probably was listening to the things that I was saying about this, and you guys were probably, hold on a second, guys. All right, sorry about that. So I'm sitting here talking about this earlier, which, the reason why I can come from that point of view is because I feel like, well, I don't feel like it. I know that I am an ethical witch. Every single client that I have had, I have done them very fairly. Um, and I'm just one of those people that are genuinely good to people. And I think that sometimes people get overzealous with what they're doing. Some witches, when they discover their power, they get corrupted. And so I understand that some of you that were watching that, y'all were like, Jamila, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm at my wits' end. I am so upset because something happened. You may have been targeted, you may have been crossed or hexed by what I call dumb witch, bum witch. Okay. And so, so I got some messages for you folks out there who are going through that. Some examples are one that I found is that when, if you disagree with them, if you don't agree with something that they say, all of a sudden the devil comes out of them and they're like, I'm going to curse you. Or, the classic thing, I'm going to curse your kids. Or, I'm going to fuck you up because, you said. So I understand the anger, some of you may have for witches at this point. I totally understand that. Like, because you guys may have encountered a witch and they may have threatened you and they may have said, I'm going to curse you. And then the next day, your life started falling apart. Okay. And, some people don't believe in witchcraft. Okay. But I for one, certainly do, of course. I don't want any right now, but you can, yeah. Everybody doesn't believe in witchcraft. Are so adamant about attacking witches, okay, about not liking them, about just genuinely have a distaste for the way that some people practice. And so, I can speak for myself. I have went through some shit being attacked by witches or either covens. Yeah, I am currently going through some shit right now by covens, different sets of covens, several sets, being attacked by um, a witch because you don't want to have nothing to do with them no more, or you don't agree with them. Everybody isn't that dumb. Some witches are just dumb. And what I wanted to say about those witches is that they're going to get theirs. It kind of takes a while. You can see how when a dumb witch first, puts something on you, how it can be really, really strong. But as the years go by, you start seeing improvements. You can even start seeing patterns. And some of them will, profusely light candles on you. Some of them will have a jar. Some of them will do a fucking puppet doll on you, and the shit will actually work on you. And you're like, what in the hell? And so a lot of people in general are angry at God because of that. A lot of people are like, how could God let this happen? God told us to not practice witchcraft. God told us that we shouldn't have to fear witches. So why is God allowing my life to be ripped to shreds because of this stupid witch? This stupid, ignorant witch that is trying to ruin my life, that is trying to make me sick, that is bringing me all of this negativity. Okay. And it does make you hate the craft. I actually have, for me, my relationship with witchcraft is 100% love. And that is because witchcraft has always never failed me. Okay, it's never failed me, not once. I've been in some sticky situations, like I said. I myself, as a witch, can get attacked by other witches, which is one of the reasons why I'm so careful about allowing other witches in my house and, not allowing them to take personal items from me. It is because of, the treachery. They can be very treacherous if they want to be. And part of the reasons why they feel that they have to be this way is because they may have fears or they may just be a butthole. Okay. You may have somebody that is just a butthole and they may be trying to tear down your life. They're threatening your children. They're doing all kind of stupid, a fuck shit. And it's annoying, but keep in mind, I want you to consider this: the same exact negative effects that a witch can have on you, a religious person can have on you. So it's not just about witches. You have to watch religious people, period. You know what I'm saying? But I think that when it comes to someone doing witchcraft on you, and, sometimes witches can literally be of the devil. And what I mean by that is that they can stay focused for a very long time, either in their paranoia, their non-connection to, uh, certain things that will make them be more loving people. There are some people, there's some witches like me that we enjoy herbal remedies. We enjoy doing, potions and helping people. But then there are some witches that, they get into the craft just so that they can, they'll go out there and they'll say, I just want to destroy this world and everybody in it. I hate everybody. They hate everybody. They enjoy seeing people suffer. They enjoy seeing people with problems. They're bad people. But witchcraft itself is not bad. This is what irritates me is when people say and get mad at witchcraft. Well, you're constantly surrounded by witchcraft. All you have to do is look up at the sky and look down at the ground, at the dirt and the trees and the birds and nature. You're constantly surrounded by witchcraft. It's not witchcraft, it's evil witches that do nothing but cause problems constantly. And it's annoying because a lot of y'all get irritated with it. A lot of y'all will say, well, goddamn, as soon as I went and I got a reversal candle and I reverse it, and then the next thing you know, here it comes back. And it's the same person over and over and over again for years and damn years. And you're like, what is this? Right? And, so what you have to consider is that a lot of times, especially in this particular lifetime that we're looking at, is that we're looking at karmics. We're looking at people who are either a karmic of yours, or there could be people that are just negative. They're not very knowledgeable. They're not very wise. They're not. They're just not smart people. Every witch is not intelligent. Every witch doesn't think things through. There are some witches that do things that are totally stupid. I am a high priestess of Hecate, so I'm able to actually see people's rituals. I can actually see them even before they do them. So I'm able to see it even before it happens. Okay. Please understand that witches like that are going to get what is coming to them because honestly, I watch a lot of witches on here and I watch a lot of witches that do curse videos. When you do a curse, you have to be justified in it. Having an angry conversation with somebody or somebody telling you to fuck off does not give you the right to curse them. Those witches are going to eventually get their karma. In the meantime, there are ways that you can remedy those situations, okay? Now, number one, a lot of people's families are generally not protected from witchcraft. So I think that everybody should have something that is connected to them so that you can protect your whole family from it. Okay. So everybody's family is not protected from witchcraft. In fact, I mean, even if you look at the Bible and you look at the world, the Bible even says only 144,000 people will be saved. And that was several lifetimes ago. And those people have moved on and, probably live in different galaxies. Okay. But the rest of the world, it's kind of like, what do we do? And yeah, I do believe that for the larger part of it, I do believe that a lot of the times, some religions can lie to you. This is one of the reasons why, things like hoodoo was created. Hoodoo is folk religion that uses the Bible a lot. Because if you notice, everybody doesn't benefit from going to church every Sunday. They just don't. Okay. Now, it's irritating. Listen, I have been through some things even in the past year to where I've known for a fact that it was witchcraft or black magic. And you know what? Instead of getting upset about it, do something about it. Be proactive about it. Okay. I know that there are so many different things that can help you. In fact, what I'm going to be incorporating into my craft, and I will be presenting it within the next couple of weeks, is poly resin. Uh, Poly resin is actually a resin that is a naturally occurring compound on the earth that does a specific thing. It preserves, it holds into place. And so there are going to be a lot of different projects that I'm going to be doing with poly resin, in particular with my workings that I'm going to be doing. Okay. So, yeah, it's annoying. And then a lot of y'all feel like, well, a lot of y'all are irritated because, and I know why, it's because of the money. Every witch that you want to go to charges more than 50 bucks. If you go to somebody that charges 50 bucks to remove a curse from you, then honey, that's a crackhead. That's not somebody that's able to do that. Then they're hustling. Nobody can remove a curse from you for 50 bucks. It's not going to happen. It's way too risky. 50 bucks doesn't even cover the supplies that you need. 50 bucks won't even cover the supplies that you need to even remove the curse. I know that for me, I'm going to spend at least a fourth of your budget on supplies sometimes, which includes food offerings, candles, and other things like salt. Sometimes I need specific herbs. So it's not going to be a cheap process, but it pays off. Okay. Um, some witches, they just don't have a lot of good sense. And they're weird, and not weird in a good way. They're weird in a way to where it's like, are you checked out to lunch? Because I think that a lot of them going into this, they go into it blind. They don't know how to protect themselves. They don't know how to clear themselves. And they generally have no guidance. Okay. And so they go around and I'm going to curse everybody, curse, curse, curse. Ain't nobody did nothing to them. I want to curse this person. I want to curse that person. And it's freaking annoying. And those things that they are doing are actually having an effect on people. Okay. Unfortunately, they are. And it affects women more than anything. The reason why curses have more of an effect on women is because men are factually favored in this society. Okay, now a lot of men would disagree. They say, Jamila, I don't agree with that. Well, I do, because I see a lot of men walking around here, they have factually been crossed, but they don't have the struggles that women have. Okay, they don't have the struggles. Even, for example, if you have a generational curse on your family and you got brothers and sisters, you'll even notice that your mother will favor your brothers over your sisters. It's crazy. Okay? It's insane. They'll give them everything, give you nothing, and not give a damn about you. It's one of those things that happens. Um, I would say to that, what I would say is that's just like anything. There's good and bad in everything, in anything that you see. There's good and bad in it. Okay. And you just can't, expect for it to all be rainbows and lollipops. You know what I'm saying? And some people are just now I do believe that on the flip side, if you have an enemy, there are some people that might go a little too easy on somebody that may be doing work on you. Okay. There are ways to teach a person a lesson without either trying to physically hurt them, try to hurt their mental. And there are ways to protect yourself besides, I'm gonna put some death magic on you, or I'm gonna hex all your children and all of that crap. Okay, because all that stuff is stupid. It's stupid as hell, in my opinion. And so I think what you have to focus on and be grateful for is the amount of good witches out there. Now, here's another thing, and I'm talking about honest witches, okay? Because I've heard of people going to witches and the witches kind of screwing them over, okay? Here's another thing that I want to talk about. I think that people only look at witchcraft sometimes as a way to get back at somebody. There are so many other things that witches do, many, many other things besides revenge. Okay. We don't just do revenge against people. It's not all about vengeance. Okay. It's not just about vengeance. It's actually about justice for yourself. So witchcraft is not all bad. There's bad witches out there that are annoying. They are very annoying to me. And I've had certain issues, with witches myself, and I am a witch. Okay, so I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they do. I mean, I have seen some of the most horrific things happen to people because of curses and spells on them. And it sucks. Okay, now here's the good news. It Okay, so what we know about witchcraft is what we see in the movies, right? There are obviously some witches that need to be binded. It can sometimes take years to bind a witch. It can sometimes take years. I wouldn't, I would not. Now, I've seen witches trying to bind witches that are making a difference. I'd say that's a mistake. But if it's a witch that's causing way too much chaos, causing people to be killed, causing people to die, causing, a lot of mayhem and mischief, I would say that those would be the ones. And I think that witches that are educated, witches that are ethical, I think that you have an invested interest in doing that because, you know, um, we don't want to risk having the right to religion and or spiritual beliefs. And yeah, the church, y'all are under fire because of that too, right? The church is actually in jeopardy because of that too. Because if they take away the First Amendment right, then churches will no longer be able to operate. And this is a future that can exist. I think that the church and the witches have to be able to coexist. I believe that different belief systems should be able to coexist. No, I do not believe that using the elements of the earth, air, fire, water, and spirit is a bad thing to do. Even if you're talking about black magic, there's some people that do deserve to be cursed. Of course they do. There's some people that deserve it, but on the flip side of that, there are a lot of people that have been unfairly targeted and they don't deserve it. Every argument, every little conversation that you have with somebody does not require a black candle or trying to harm somebody. It just doesn't require it. But there's some people that just don't know that. There's some people that, you can't say nothing to them, or they're going to use their spiritual power on you. And it sucks because it creates struggle in your life. It will create a struggle in your life, and it sucks. And a lot of you guys I mean, I got a really positive response to that pumpkin carving video that I did because there are a lot of you that got an eviction notice. There are a lot of you that got into an argument or you watched the tarot and you can see that somebody threw some black magic at you and you lost your job or you got sick and missed time at work and you know for a fact intuitively that it was some witch that threw some stuff at you. Let's keep it a buck here. And it's annoying. The only thing that you can do is break the curse and reverse it. That's what else is there to do? Okay? It's really nothing else to do. Okay? Bindings are really, really difficult to do. There's a certain deity that you can go to for banishings. Okay, there's also several deities that will help you bind somebody from doing harm to you. Okay. So, but witches that are here to help you because there's some people that don't even offer curse reversals. They like, I ain't doing no I ain't getting involved with that. There's a lot of witches out there. They just do black magic and that's it. That's all they do is black magic. That's all they do is baneful magic. That's all they do is destructive magic. And they specialize in that. Now I believe that eventually things like that will come back on them, absolutely. I do have faith in that. Nobody's going to take that faith away from me. Nobody. I have faith in that. If somebody has done something to you, there's always justice. Okay. Um, but so I understand the irritation. I understand being irritated. Now, there are sometimes people will be thinking somebody is doing something to them. And that's why I said, I am very careful about choosing my students, choosing who I deal with, because there are some people that are very, very paranoid. I have heard it all. I have been accused of it all. I have been accused of murdering somebody's family member. No, I don't do that. No, not would I do that, nor would I ever. That is a lie. And I was accused of that. And so, there are some people that shouldn't be touching witchcraft because they just don't have enough good sense. It's like a shiny new toy that they want to play around with. As a fellow witch, I can promise you that those witches will get what they deserve. As a fellow witch, and I can say that, I have actually been betrayed like a son of a gun. Okay. Now, does that make me hate all witches? Hell no. It's a lot of witches. I adore them. And all witches ain't against each other. That's just like all women ain't against each other. Okay. I have several clients right now that are amazing women. I have, people that I know that are very amazing people. A lot of people have a tendency to, some, a certain race or color of a person did this to me. So I ain't messing with none of that no more. Oh, a witch did something to me. Well, I ain't messing with none of them witches. Oh, so and so did this to me. Well, I ain't. No, if you do that, you're gonna eliminate everybody in your life. You can't just walk away from everybody. You can't just walk away from everybody. Give me some of them Pringles, son. Give me some. Can't just walk away from everybody. Everybody That's just like all Christians ain't bad. I don't have anything against religious people. I don't have anything against anybody. Okay? Here, son. So, you just got to understand that. And yeah, it's pretty annoying because it's very popular. Everybody is doing it. Either you're going to pay somebody to remove that stuff from you, or you'll try to do it yourself. I wouldn't advise that in every case. It depends on who did it. It depends on how deep those witchy roots go with that person. Okay? They could have put something on you that's so horrible, terrible. I showed y'all that picture. I got rid of all them pictures of them spirits. It was 4 of them. You could see their faces. I had to take that video down. My spirits told me to take it down. They said, don't give them spirits no upfront airplay. Okay? You can't tell a witch what to do. Yeah, I believe that if you're a witch and you have those kind of powers, I think that you should use them to better your life. Duh. But everybody doesn't have that. Then we got to deal with the energy harvesting. See, people are still complaining about that. Energy harvesting. Okay? People are still dealing with that. Okay, feeling like they're being energy harvested off of. Okay? And I told you I know how to get rid of that. Because there's a lot of them out there doing that. It's, instead of me doing witchcraft and actually doing it, I'd rather take away from you. So a lot of people are dealing with that right now. Okay. And the only thing I can say is that eventually that witch is going to get hers. Eventually. That's the only thing I can say. If you didn't do the work, or if you were basically like suppressed by maybe a spirit that they sent to you, to the point where you sat there and literally lost everything because the spirits that they may have put onto you. And a lot of y'all feel overwhelmed. You feel scared because some of y'all are dealing with coven attacks. Welcome to the club. Ain't y'all ever seen the movie The Matrix? Okay, become inspired by that. Okay. Neo had like thousands and thousands of agents after him. What? Both of my lighters messed up. He had thousands and thousands of agents after him. Okay. So, and it just is what it is. That's why I told y'all to get into the deities. A lot of people, I don't, and that's a spirit on you, especially when it comes to covens. Kali Ma will, oh my God, Kali Ma. That lady, she don't play that when it. Kali Ma is a very protective, dark mother who doesn't believe in bullying. That's why a lot of people go to Kali Ma. Even though she's of a totally different, what do you call that? She's a powerful goddess, and she's a Hindu goddess. People still go to her all over the world if they're being bullied. So I totally get it, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree that witches should make a decision to just go out there and I'm going to tear up the world and I'm going to do this and I'm going to tear this down. And no, I don't believe in that. I believe that a witch can become possessed by a negative spirit just like anybody else. And that's a very bad decision to make. You know, here's the thing about it, because I've heard people say, well, why don't you, I've heard people say to witch, why don't you do something to improve your life? Everybody is not looking for the American dream. So that's why they don't care about having no house or, koi pond. They don't care about none of that mess. They don't care about, making improvements to their life. That's not that's not important to them. They don't care about that. You waste too much of your time trying to make people think the way that you think. It's a waste of your time, really. It's a waste of your time trying to make people think the way that you think. Everybody ain't gonna think the way that you think. And there's a lot of people that they don't even have to practice witchcraft. Destructive spirits just work through them. Yeah. There's a lot of people, they don't even have to light one candle, but they are a vessel for destructive spirits to come at you. And they don't care. They'll laugh at your misfortune. Tell me what is the right thing to do. Reversing it, binding, or maybe even hexing them back, teaching them a lesson, or walking up to them and blowing them away and going to jail and throwing your life away for the rest of your life. That's what doesn't make any sense. Because I've heard about that happening. I have heard about that happening, y'all. I have. I have heard about that happening. Okay. I have heard of very, very evil witches. Cats and stuff on people, don't leave them alone. They go over there, they kill them. That's the whole thing right there. They murder them because they curse somebody. And so God gave us discernment, and but then you go to jail for the rest of your life. Either you're gonna play the game of chess or not. And then I think that if you do that, if you go, if there's that's a no-win situation. That means nobody wins. That means nobody wins. And a lot of you guys are being targeted by witchcraft. It's meant for you to get into the craft. So a lot of you guys will say, why has thou forsaken me? Well, and God will answer back and say, I didn't forsake you. You forsake yourself. Go do something about it. And there's a lot of people that will stay like that for years and years and years, and they'll be bound to those words in the Bible. The Bible was a book of spells, honestly, and as a witch, let me tell you something. As a witch, if another witch wouldn't leave me alone, I'll go right in the Bible and I can either tear out the hoodoo words in the Bible, never suffer a witch to live. I could use that myself on another witch. If a witch did something to harm me, I can use the Bible and I'm a witch. Okay? So the Bible is a book of spells, literally the whole thing. I've been thinking about investing in one for my hoodoo work because I've been getting into hoodoo lately and getting really, really seriously into it. But I'm still very eclectic. Hoodoo witches do the same thing as any other witch. And I see a lot of other witches that are of different faiths that practice hoodoo, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, I really don't. I think that there are some instances where you have to use the Bible, especially if you're having a problem with another witch. Now, if I use that Bible verse in a spell magics for another witch, is she going to actually die? No. Maybe it's a possibility, but no, no, not necessarily. Less than 0.1% chance that she'll die. But I think that that is a way to bind somebody, because when you think about the Bible, you have to think about it. You have to be sort of in the Holy Spirit. They're talking about spirit. So the power of the witch would die, because I think that in general nobody really has anything against witches. I mean, there's some people that are diehard, Christians or whatever, and they just like, it's bad, it's wrong, I hate it, I hate Halloween, I hate y'all, blah blah blah. But I think that most people, have a mutual respect for witches, because they're just, they may be true Christians or whatever, and they just don't, they really have a true faith, and you know what I'm saying? And they just, but I think that people mainly generally hate foul witches that can't be trusted, that are always being what do you call that, dishonest, that are diabolical, maniacal, control freaks, want to control everybody. I think that in general, people don't like witches like that. Okay. So I don't ever feel hated. I don't ever feel slighted as a witch. I don't. Uh, I don't know how my fairy statue, something happened to my fairy statue outside. And I threw my cards, and I don't know, maybe it was the wind. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a spirit or something that was outside. It still couldn't get in my house. I don't know what the deal was with that. That little fairy statue I've had outside for the longest, the little fairy ball, it's all knocked over, kicked over. I don't know who the hell vandalized my front porch. I can imagine that whoever they are, they're gonna learn a lesson. Now, do they have to learn? Am I gonna say, I hope that person dies? No, my spirit's gonna handle. Well, and maybe it's not necessary. Maybe I just need to buy a new fairy statue. Just buy a new one. I don't know. You know. And another thing that I don't like is the type of witches that you can't even have a difference of opinion, even if you were a Christian that felt. Now, if I felt like you were doing work on me, then I'm going to reverse it and bind you from doing any further harm. But if we're just having a general conversation about it, I'm going to let the punishment fit the crime. Since when, does everybody have to agree with everybody? I don't agree with that either. So I say all this to say that I understand people's hatred for witchcraft, but I'm going to go back to the old saying, don't hate the game, hate the player. But I'm an inverted. Nothing wrong with witchcraft. This whole world was built on witchcraft. You're standing on witchcraft, right? They had to cut down trees to build your house. That's witchcraft when you think about it very deeply. Okay? They had to cut down a tree. A tree had to die for you to have a house to live in. Okay? So you're surrounded by witchcraft constantly. You can't, and I wish that people would see that. And I wish that I didn't have to take down that Believe in Magic series, video that I had to put up, but I had to take it down because of those spirits that was in it. I guess I could have just edited that part out where it froze up. But it was still spirit energy present in that video. So to be safe, I'd rather, deal with some more positive spirits if I'm going to show them. Like, for example, there was a rainbow orb at my front door, and I still have the images of that the night that I put out my pumpkin, the first pumpkin that I carved this year for Halloween. I was taking pictures, just snapping pictures, and it was a rainbow colored orb that showed up, and it was a moving orb. It was a shooting orb. Okay. So that right there was actually a positive spirit. So, I can definitely show spirit without, showing negative spirits, because negative spirits, we see enough of that. In all honesty, in the world, period, we have seen enough negative energy to last us 3 or 4 or several lifetimes. It's been okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I understand people's fear. I understand people's disdain of witchcraft. The only thing that I can say is that you just gotta mature and understand where you're at. You gotta understand where you're at. Okay. And I'm just saying, I already stated what was up. You just gotta look at Hecate, who is the queen of witches. You have to look at her lineage. Hecate, I believe her grandmother is Mother Earth. So where do you think you're standing? You're standing on witchcraft. You live in witchcraft. You breathe witchcraft every single day. So to hate witchcraft is to hate life. And that's something that can never be forgotten. The basic knowledge of witchcraft when it comes to the womb of the mother. That's where it starts. That life cycle, that life force, whether or not you're male or female. Okay. And the way my spirits see it is that when they see somebody denying witchcraft, or when they see somebody disliking witchcraft, they see that as confusion. They see it as you being confused, and they see it as you being possessed. That's possession. Because witchcraft is, to me, it's life. That's what it is. It's life. It's the spirit of life. It's the spark of the divine. That's what it is. Okay. And when you work against that, it's like, well, what's wrong with you? You want to die? Or you don't want to exist anymore? Fine, go ahead. That's why Halloween is being frowned upon, because of spirits. That's pretty. And so, like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't believe that we should all be walking around here dead to the world. Okay. We're not going to be monks or whatever you call that, sitting in a cave all day hiding from the sunlight. Okay. So it's kind of a bad idea to hate witchcraft when my spirits see that as you being possessed, probably even by a witch. Think about it. If a witch has cursed you, and then all of a sudden you're saying that you hate witchcraft, when witchcraft is the way that you're going to get out of that, straight up and down. You can disagree with me if you want. I don't believe in those people. Now, this is what I don't believe, okay? Because I done had plenty of clients that done came to me, they got their curses removed and then they went to church. Which is their choice. I ain't never got mad about that. Okay, a lot of people that's in the church come to me to get work done. Okay. I don't believe that if you are cursed, necessarily that a preacher can take that off of you. Now, I believe that if you are possessed, that priests and preachers can banish a bad spirit. But as far as removing a curse on your life, no, I don't believe that. I believe that you can do that. Okay. But I don't believe that. I really don't. So I think that they're full of crap when they say that because, the suffering continues. They can say, oh, I went to Jesus, and I'm not saying that Jesus is not powerful. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that Jesus is very, very useful when you are trying to banish certain entities. Okay. And Pastor ain't going to tell you that because Pastor drives around in a brand new Cadillac and he got the biggest house on the block and he's still cursed. He's still very much cursed. Okay. Even though he's in the church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Tuesday, how often they go, you still cursed. And they acknowledge this. They'll even tell you, yeah, I was cursing. I was reading some Bible verses that said that. But I think that it's the level and the degree of curse because, some people got ravens and skeletons falling all out from everywhere, including the church. They actually found skeletons and bones under the Vatican. you know. And so anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Just get it removed. What are you, a mover, a shaker, or are you a crier? You a crier? You gonna cry about it? Do something about it then. You gonna sit around and cry over being cursed? Or are you gonna do something about it? You just want something to complain about? Or are you gonna do something about it? Because a lot of y'all that have been cursed, y'all have already been in that church and it ain't made a difference. It hasn't. It has not made a difference, and you cannot deny that. So the work that a lot of witches do whenever you get through is very important. And we should get credibility for that all day, every day. Witches should get credibility for the work that we do. Okay? Because I have helped many, many, many people. And I take my credit for that. All right, y'all. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. That's my soapbox, or that's my education for the day. And I will be seeing y'all later. Blessings.